Fathers, mothers, sons, daughters, children, families. We stand here today to stand for a crisis, with thousands of families just like ours locked up on Christmas Island, filled to the brim with fear, uncertainty, and anxiety. I am glad that there are good people in the world that see injustices to this. I am sure that if we fight this battle to the end, will Australia become the proud country that we will all hope to live and cherish in. For our brothers and sisters on Christmas Island, Nauru, Perth, and Villawood, may you one day join hands with us to live in stability, happiness, and respect. I have a close friend that used to live in Manus Regional Processing Centre. She had recalled living in traumatic conditions, having to fight depression and anxiety from the moment she woke up until the last hours where she had managed to force herself to sleep under the frigid conditions of the hard cell floor. Guards kicked and spat. Food was a loaf of bread and a carton of milk, and that was to set out for the whole day. And yet, what has she done to deserve a year and a half of this abuse? To be born Syrian? You see, these detainees are just like you and me. They're human too. It's about time as we, as a country, also treat them as humans as well. They are not criminals. They are not illegal. This whole time, our government has been warning us of the non-existent fear of boat people. And yet, it is they that has lied to us. Tony Abbott is wrong. Wrong to call them illegal. Wrong to throw those innocent people into his makeshift jails. Wrong to consider them to be unsafe in the first place. To speak to him about this issue, I tell him that he was wrong, wrong, wrong. You're locking up innocent people that have done nothing wrong, nothing at all. In 2014, Australian-born prisoners accounted for 81% of the prison population, while overseas prisoners accounted for 18%. You know what shames me about my own country the most? That even through this mindless decision, I am ashamed that the Australian government still hasn't changed their policy. We've had so many prime ministers since 1958. There's absolutely no one in Congress see the extent of damage that they are doing to the people's mental health. Heck, they've even broken the essential human right of liberty. I'm sure that they're having fun playing politics in their glorified seats of stolen power. But this has the idea of change for the innocent ever crossed their mind once? Or have these changes in their glorified speeches all been false promises? Is this what the Australian government has become? False hope? Malcolm Turnbull, it's about time you too realise the pain and suffering of the innocent and stand up to tear down detention centres set up inland and offshore, to understand the purpose of our navies to defend our country and not shun off innocent people that are fleeing for their lives. When the promise of Australia has finally worn off, we will only be recognised as the closed-minded Australians that have nothing to offer to the wider world community. I say the best way to protect our friends and allies is to allow them into our country. Allow them to seek refuge rather than to send troops to fight wars. Refuge, not violence. Refuge, not violence.